after having gone through this, the main reason that we do that drill, so you get the familiarity of kicking the leg over the shoulder, the leg under the arm, and hitting that seat belt. So you understand by looking how it looks and also how it feels. Okay, the triangle is probably one of the only real things that I would say in jiu-jitsu that I ever found to be confusing. It's like, okay, shoot the leg over the shoulder, but then how does it lock? And I'm laying in bed going, visualize this, how does this work? Right? It is somewhat confusing until you've done it a few times. So this drill helps you orient yourself with, okay, left leg is over the shoulder, we're pulling left arm up. Right leg is over the shoulder, pulling right arm up. So we're gonna continue to work off of this. Now we're gonna go to the lock, but now this one's gonna be a static drill, right? So this one is made for just high volume. So again, we're here. What we're gonna do is, we've got to here, now we're gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna bring feet into the hips, okay? Arms are on the inside. Now we're going to lift, legs gonna come, we're gonna shoot, okay? We're still going to reach across and pull up, but now we're gonna cave them back down and we're gonna grab the shin. We're gonna put the foot in the hip a little bit and turn and bring the leg up for the lock. Okay, and we're gonna lock it right here. Now we're gonna come back down. Lift, shot, here. Cross like we just did, we're gonna pull up. I'm gonna grab my shin, okay, right now. Now the key here is I'm going to turn so that I can bring my leg out, up, and over for the lock. Again, elevate, shot, catch, now we lock. Now from right here, okay, I'm going across, I'm pulling the arm up to get it away from the hip. Now I grab the shin on this same side right here so that he can't pull up and out. If he starts trying to pull up, no dice. Can't pull out because I'm pulling his elbow up, right? Now the foot goes down on the back a little bit. I'm gonna cover that foot best I can, and we're gonna lock. So the lock, when I shoot it over, for your standard triangle, okay, I want to lock it over the outside of the open part. So it's here. You can see your legs lay this way, and if you want to try to remember it, go here. Now I've got to lock this, don't. Once you lock it up, curl the foot back because that tightens everything up here on the shoulder, okay? Also, don't try to lock it up behind the elbow, behind the shoulder. What I mean by that is trying to lock it up back here, you don't have the space, okay? We need to create some elevation and some distance to get up. Now I'm locking it up over the shoulder. Huge difference. My leg comes over the shoulder and closes this up. Okay, I'm not behind the shoulder locking it up. I'm bringing my leg over his shoulder and I'm high up on the neck and I close this entire gap. And now it's nice and easy to lock it down on big shoulder guys. Oops. Sorry, bud. I know this one's brutal.
No, you're good.
Lift, shot, catch, pull. So we got all this clear. Grab the shin and hold. Okay. So now I'm trying to get the turn, but I also want to get up and over that shoulder. Cover this with the back of your hamstring. Close. Okay. Let's get it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's not true. It's not the head. Pulling the head is not where the finish is. That's not true. It does help somewhat. So we're here. Here's my shot. Clean shot. I get the arm long, so I'm set up for a backside armbar in the event that this becomes a reality. So everybody come right here so you can kind of look at this. We're going to be here for just a second. There is no doubt he is narrower when his arm is like this. Around here, this area here is far narrower than it is with his arm either like this or like this. Okay? So old school pundits here, they would say, well, the triangle, you want that arm all the way across, and then you gotta, well, here's the thing. This is far bigger than this. Far bigger. Okay, so this, I don't really worry about whether this is up here. I really don't want it on this side. It's a little too hard for me to operate, and I would rather just go into a triangle armbar from here. I want it on this side of my head somewhere, but I don't necessarily need it tucked up underneath his chin right in here, because frankly, it's kind of in the way. We'll go over later on in the week manipulations to this if the arm is too far over, how we get more on the top and we try to climb into our triangle and finish this way, which is my favorite way to do it. But for now, standard old, everyday run-of-the-mill triangle, I prefer to have this elbow as far away from his side as I can possibly get it. And the way I lock that is outside leg is on top so that I can use this knee to help squeeze and set this up. Right? So many people, they don't think that there's any significance with the way that they cross their feet up here in this diamond position, and I'm here to tell you there is. With this foot here, this foot on top, I can use my foot, this foot on bottom, to leverage against and help lock this down and bring this elbow and all this whole assembly in closer to his head, so this area is narrower to deal with. And trust me, on a bigger boy, you're going to be happy that you did. If you're you either have an affliction of shorter legs, less flexibility, okay, or you're with a really, really big guy, this will make the difference in whether you hit this or whether you don't, all right? So leveraging against my own leg is huge. So I hold here and I make absolutely certain that I'm pulling this away when I hit my setup. I don't have to be as worried about him posturing up out of this because I've got downward pressure on the heel. Posture up, please. Very, very difficult to do. Right? I can still control him pretty well because I've also got his arm. He postures up too far, we're going to go straight into an armbar. Right? Bad news. We don't want that. So we're here. I'm going to use this foot to leverage against, to collapse all this in. Right? Right here. Boom. Now, when I pull this, get this stretched up and away, now I get up here to my shin. Now I'm sweeping across the back, and I'm getting it up here across the nape of the neck. Now I come up and I lock. The lock. Notice tap if you start. I got to stay here for a minute, okay? No, so just breathe. So here, my toes are pointed down. None of the muscles on the back of my legs are engaged. None. This calf is not engaged. The back of my hamstring is not engaged. This is not engaged. None of it. But something real interesting happens here. He's not choking. Something real interesting happens when I pull the toes back. Right? That's it. You don't see me yanking the hell out of his head. Okay, that's not doing anything. You just see here, toes are pointed. We're in a catch or a hold. Okay? Now we're gonna set the strangle. That's it. Okay, that's it. That's really it. There is no yanking all this way and that on the head, trying to rip his damn head off. That's, at very best, if I was holding his head, I would be holding it just simply to keep him in a certain position, more so than anything. Okay? Because you get this belt, he goes nowhere. Okay? Not to mention if he decides to get crazy and lift up really hard, I'm going straight to what? Omoplatas and all that garbage, right? So let's make sure that when we're here, we understand that two things are happening. Curling the toes back, okay, and I'm squeezing this off. Compression. So I'm leveraging at 2 points. I'm leveraging against my foot up here to close everything on and tighten it off. Then once I set, I'm going to leverage against this again by turning it outboard. Outboard, squeeze, so that it closes this little gap off. Okay, essentially trying to get as close to this as I possibly can. Guys, don't make the mistake of thinking that this is all that important. It's really not. It's more so closing this gap off. I can have my foot down here. If I can close this gap off, I'm good. Essentially, I'm looking at this. His head is in the middle. I'm closing off and I'm curling the toes back. Okay? If I don't have the legs locked, say I'm here, okay? Can't completely get up there. I can still come over the top from right here once I get in and curl my toes back, push this leg against lever, and I'm still gonna finish. And notice my leg was right here. Wasn't even locked, okay? It's all in the way you hit the strangle. Closing that gap off does not require yanking the head down. Let's play with it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.